Hi, my name is Ann Sermons Gillis, and I'm Vice President of the Theosophical Order of Service in the United States. And today I'm conducting another legacy interview. We're very excited to welcome the President of the Theosophical Society in Italy. Welcome, Patrizia Calvi.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne, for inviting me.
Yes, I really appreciate it. And tell me, where in Italy do you live?
Oh, I live in Vicenza. That is a city in the northern part of Italy, in the Veneto region. It is 60 kilometers to Venice. And it is well known for the architect Andrea Palladio's masterpieces. These works deeply influenced and inspired Inigo Jones in his work. So you can make some connections also.
Okay. So is that where you were born?
I was born not far from here in the outskirts of this city. And so I was always in these surroundings.
Yes, and always living in Italy. That's a good place.
Oh,
It's a beautiful country. I've been. It certainly is. Were you raised in a religion?
yes, I was raised in the Catholic Church. My family was devout, practicing, observant, and we received the sacraments, baptism, confession, Holy Communion, and confirmation. And my mother was especially involved in the parish activities. So for me and my sister, we soon started to serve in the various tasks like mass readings or chanting in the choir. And at that time, it was kind of unavoidable duty. It was normal for us to do it.
So do you feel like your background, your religious background, did that make you more interested in spirituality, or do you feel like it was a block or a wall for your search?
Well, my mother was so devout, was too kind of bigot, and we didn't like it. We found it too much. But these culture gave all the same the opportunity to us to meet people, interesting people who was talking about these kind of subjects. But we were not so satisfied. The answers were not such an inspiration, not a definitive answer. We were not satisfied. It is difficult to say, but a teenager, my father died. He suddenly died in a car accident. And it was because we didn't even dare to ask questions, to ask to our parents things. Me and my sister didn't dare to ask them something about God or about life or about death. But as I was saying, my father died when we were young, and that was the moment, the break point for me. And because I was angry, because I felt I did not deserve such a punishment from God, by God. So my life underwent a total change, and I had no answers because the priests always said, "Oh, you have to have faith. You have to put yourself in God's hands." But I wasn't satisfied. And I was depressed. and I couldn't see a future for myself because my father passing was changed also our way of living and a lot of things. And this was the real beginning of the story of my falling in love with theosophy, of my search.
Yes, tell us about that. Tell us how evidently you found it when you were very young, not too long after that. So tell us about that search.
Yeah. I was 20 and still angry with God because my life wasn't the one I had dreamed about. And one day I was invited to have lunch in a vegetarian restaurant because I felt the need to be vegetarian since I was 14, very young. I couldn't say why, but I refused to eat meat, all these things. And it was a kind of fight every day with my mother because she said I could die without meat. And at that time, I was 20. I was invited to have lunch in a vegetarian restaurant. I didn't know that it was, that in Vicenza there was a vegetarian restaurant. And I went there. And there I found the boy who was, in 2 years, became my husband. And we met and we started to talk, and he invited me to a theosophical meeting. And I said, Theo what? Because I never heard about Theosophical Society, the Theosophical Society. And he started to explain me what it was. And he told me about karma. And the word karma was a kind of explosion in myself. As soon as I felt this word and the explanation about this word, I felt it was embedded in the deepest fibers of my body. I felt it was kind of remembering something that I knew from eternity, something that I was sure it was with me, but I couldn't remember about. And it was my starting point.
Oh, that really speaks to the power of words. If you had one word that really resounded with you and made you think deeply, think deeply. So, in terms of your search, were there any living teachers that inspired you along your way?
Well, as soon as I attended this theosophical meeting, I started to go there every week. They met in my husband, so to say, my future husband house, and they started to tell me about Bernardino del Boca. He was a theosophist, an anthroposophist, a writer, a painter, and he held meetings every fortnight in Novara, that is a city that is 300 kilometers from Vicenza, from my city. So I started every fortnight to go there with them, with the theosophists of my group. And we spent the whole day going, listening to the lecture and back. So we had 600 kilometers to do, but it was so inspiring. It was such a kind of fresh air, fresh, when the baby has a new toy, his enthusiasm, it was the same, because he fascinated me talking about spiritual matters and theosophy, but in a very understandable way and linking it with the daily life. And so it was very easy for me to put things together, to make theosophy something that was with me every moment, that was that I could base on in every moment of my life.
Well, I have seen you in some other videos in the past, and one thing that I notice about you is that you seem to have an infectious joy. So this question may throw you off a little bit, but can you tell me, how do you do that? How did you get there? What brings that joy on with you? Just
I think that theosophy is embedded in me, and well, I'm so lucky. I was 20, now I'm 64, so I was so lucky to meet it at 20 that it probably infected my whole life. And Bernardino and all the other sages I met. I had the chance to meet Krishnamurti. I was 21, probably the year next to my affiliation to Theosophy. I went to Sanen in Switzerland to listen to him. It was probably his last but one year in Sanen, and he died in 1985, yes. So when you have the chance to meet all these people that can that from whose you can be inspired, it is, well, it is a gift. And most of all, I had the chance to serve on a voluntary basis for 30 years. You don't do it if you don't have something inside you to guide you. So I am a lucky person.
okay, good. So, I love the word luck. Some people say there is no luck, that we create everything and we attract everything through karma and so forth. But I love the word luck. I don't think I want to take that out of the dictionary. I am lucky. I think I absolutely love that. So,
I think we all have something we can declare to be lucky about. I
yes.
think every one of us, every day, even the worst of the days, we can say that we are breathing and that we will have a chance the next day, we hope. So, well.
Thank you. Well, so in terms of volunteering, could you tell us a little bit about your volunteer work?
Oh, well, as soon as I joined TOS, I put myself on at disposal. So I started with simple things like organizing meetings, and then we started with TOS work because they were already doing work with the Theosophical Order of Service. So I remember we started to correspond with some prisoners to help them to have something to think about in these long days of them. We started to send them books, things. I remember we sent soap to the Russian prisoners, boxes and boxes of soap. Maybe they couldn't wash themselves properly, so they asked soap to wash themselves. It is, I can tell it was 40 years ago, so things were different from now. Or medicines, a lot of medicines. We collected medicines or clothes, trying to meet their needs, but not only on the material level, of course. I was very young. I was so enthusiastic to bring these boxes, heavy boxes of soap, of books, and to bring them to the postal office. And I started like that, but if you want to serve, you have an immense field of activities, starting from family, friends. Not only you have not to go so far into Russian prisons to give, and then we had, I remember, some earthquakes to meet the needs of the people, some floods, other natural disasters around the world. We had an orphanage, families in need, visits to the local hospitals, fundraising. We started the charity bazaar, doing small things that we sold to gather some money, to raise some money. And we built an orphanage in Kanyakumari, in the very south of India, for the victims of the tsunami. You probably remember there was a devastating tsunami there. A lot of people died, and there were a lot of children on the roads. So, the needs of humanity are immense. And then, well, we started with the Olcott schools, the Candle schools in Pakistan. Then Deepa Padi asked us to contribute to the women empowerment projects promoted by her in Odisha. And we were enthusiastic because we believe in education. Or we have financed for 10 years a refugee camp on the border with Syria, with Syrian refugees, financing also a pediatric clinic and a doctor there. Well, the story is so long because it is 40 years.
Right. Well, I do appreciate it. So you have done a lot of projects through the society in Italy. How did you finance those things? Where did your money come from? How did you fundraise?
Yes, we we raised money in a lot of ways. Of course, asking, of course, making how to say, when you make an appeal to, when you are in a congress, in various ways, or with cakes, the usual things
Great sales.
We asked also to a bank to help us. We submitted, how to say it in English? We asked for for money to a bank to help us to build the orphanage in Kanyakumari. So it was a long process, but we put the money there, and the bank then helped us to have something back, because it was a large sum of money. So we were lucky.
The bank donated the money?
Yes.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
It is, but we put the project in a way that they were happy to help. So,
well, tell me a little bit about. I see here that you sent me some information, and then since 1995, you've worked as a full-time volunteer in the Italian General Secretariat. Could you tell me a little bit about what you do there, what that's about?
Oh, it is our office is open from 8:30 to 6:30 in the afternoon. So 8 or 9 years we are here at disposal of people, but most of all we have congresses, events, books to prepare, our rivista, because we have a magazine. It was a monthly magazine, now it is a bi-monthly magazine. Then we have all the members. We have a lot of activities here. I have 4 or 5 volunteers here with me to help, and 2 people we pay for that are not volunteer. And so the activity is very, very, how to say, busy. May I say?
So you are there full time every week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you.
Yes. Every day. And very often on Saturday we have, maybe, for example, Logis asks for lectures, or we have lectures here at our group, or we have meetings for the committee, the board meetings, or the general council meetings. I have also meetings for the international board, the General Council, International General Council, and also for the Federation, the European Federation of National Societies. And so the activities are innumerable.
That it sounds like they are. It
Yeah,
really does.
we have also courses, introductory courses to Theosophy. And, we have the Wednesdays with the Theosophical Society once a month. We organize on Zoom now that it is possible in order to keep the members in touch with the General Secretariat. And usually, the first one we asked to participate in our Wednesdays was Tim Boyd, our international president. So we, a lot of activities we are involved in, and they have to be followed and kept alive.
Yes, yes. Well, do you have any idea how many lodges or study groups that you have in Italy?
Yes, we have 45 from in total. They are groups and study groups. So more or less 45.
Well, that's quite a few. So the TOS, of course, is about service, and I wonder if you could give me what is your working definition of service? What does that seem like to you? Service.
Yeah. I can say that service is what I can say. I think that the wish to serve is the natural outcome of the spiritual evolution. And I think that it can be done going beyond this dualistic vision of life that is typical of the mind. I think that it can be done opening ourselves to the dimension of the sacred, opening our heart to the dimension of the eternal and of the infinity. That's I think that it is natural when you are on the path. It is unavoidable. You can't avoid to do it, if I can express myself like that.
I love that. I love it. It's like a duty, but it's not an obligation, something that lives in us. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. We can't avoid it. It's so easy. For example, if we're walking down the street and somebody had a box and they dropped it, we probably would immediately pick it up. And so it goes from just the little tiny things that we do to the larger projects that we do, which I think you've mentioned. What aspects of life of a theosophy do you think have influenced your life the most? Any particular teachings or principles?
Yes. As I have already said, first of all, the concept of karma. It was illuminating. It gave me the sense of something I already knew, and it finally gave sense to an otherwise totally crazy idea of God and of His sense of justice. I often ask to myself why one little child was born in a slum of Calcutta and Kolkata, and one was raised in New York. How bad could how could act this God in this way, making these differences. I had no answer to this injustice in life. And karma gave me the response. And it gave me also the sense of my father's death, of the challenges I had to face, but also the opportunities. For example, I was so lucky to find Theosophy when I was very young. I think that it could have been impossible if my father was alive. Probably I wouldn't have the wish to look around, to search for something like that. And another aspect I was fascinated by was related to our elder brothers, these masters, their bodhisattvic service to humanity, their selfless dedication to human evolution. And this concept inspired me and prompted me to put myself with all my heart to their service. Maybe I was 20, so I was full of enthusiasm. But I can say that this idea of the Masters is always with me. And it is very dear to my heart. And it is as it is for me now as it was at that moment. I keep it here. As a moment the moment I am living in, I feel the same desire to serve them.
Wonderful. So karma, and knowing that there is some kind of justice.
And of course, Blavatsky's cosmogenesis, anthropogenesis. You know, the whole picture, the whole way Theosophy proposed me to consider universe, life, and I embraced it with all my heart.
So Theosophy made things make sense in your life.
Yeah.
Would that be?
That's it.
Would that be a question? Well, do you have lodge meetings there where you are in this building?
Oh, as soon as I started to attend meetings, they were done, as I said, in my future husband's house. And then married in 2 years, more or less. And then people came to our house for the meetings. And we had usually 30, 35 people inside our house for every week for the meetings. So I remember I had folding chairs everywhere, behind the doors, under the bed, because our flat was not so large. And to host 30, 35 people was challenging, but it was also so inspiring me. And it was, yes, it was tough because every week you had to to be ready to welcome all these people. But it was fantastic. I can say fantastic.
Well, you clean up, you have to clean up and make sure people have a place to sit and
of
so
course,
forth.
the day after I had half a day to to put things together, to clean, because then we had cakes and fruit juice, and when you have all these people, it is unavoidable. You have to take care of the house after the meetings.
Yes, yeah, that's wonderful. So it sounds like Theosophy from when you were early was not only your spiritual life, but it sounds like there was a lot of your social life that was
Yes.
tied up with Theosophists. That
Yes.
They became your close friends and you met with them every week. It's like a family.
Yes, it is. For me, it is family because as soon as I knew about Theosophy, I merged myself in this world, and I had some I was not so, how can I say, I preferred to attend these meetings, to meet these people, because we had a common language. We have something, and it was easier to also to do things, also even a walk on the mountains, because we had a different kind of vision also of the mountains, of the flowers, of the surroundings. We started to talk about the spirits of nature, things that with your friends, normal, so to say, friends, you can't talk about. So I started to meet all these people, and very few friends I kept from, so to say, the other life of before.
So do you still meet weekly? And I'm sure you don't meet in your home anymore.
No more, because as soon as we had the General Secretariat in Vicenza, in this city, because the General Secretary, of course, needed some help. So I said, I am here. I am at your disposal. I can do the secretariat work. We bought a seat and the meeting, and so the meetings now are done in our premises and no more in my house. Also because it takes time to take care of the house the day after the meetings, and I have not much time now.
Right. Yes, I understand. Well, are there any specific books that you have enjoyed or they've been guiding lights in your life?
Oh, well, I can say that The Voice of the Silence is one of them, kind of a guide for me. It fascinated me immediately with this title. How can I say the word, The Voice of the Silence? Oh, I want to know more. And I started to read it, and I'm still reading it and making lectures about it. So I think it is a very special love with this book. But of course, The Light on the Path. Oh, also there are immense number of things to be said, to be to keep as teachings also there. And but also all Besant books. I love them because they are so. They can be easy to give to people. They are not so difficult to read, and you know that they have different levels of understanding, of course, but they can be given to people that are coming, that are attracted by theosophy. You can put in their hands some books by Annie Besant or Leadbeater, and now I am fascinated by the way Pablo Sender spread theosophy. He has such a clear way of explaining things that are not so easy to be explained. But one of Taimni, his self-culture. Oh, it's a book that you can open every moment of the day or the night, and you find out something that you couldn't even remember before. So, but my deepest love is Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti is probably the theosophy of the future, if I can say, but in the way that he tried to free us from all the things that we bear, that we bring with us, that make our life heavy. But I had the chance to meet him, just to see him, to listen to him, and I was impressed by something that came before him. I remember we were under that white tent in sun, and this large tent. There were more or less 3,000 people inside the tent. And there was a noise, people chatting and chatting, waiting for Krishnamurti coming. But before he came, something came. And everybody could feel it without any sign. He was not appearing, he was not at the door. We couldn't see him arriving, but something deep came, and people stopped talking. Maybe 1 minute before we could see him arriving. It was amazing, something special that I can't forget.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Well, one of the things that theosophists say when they talk to other people, they ask, rather they say, how do you tell people what theosophy is that have never heard of it? Because I know that we meet people all the time and people always say, well, what is theosophy? So what do you tell people when somebody was saying, well, what is theosophy?
It is it is not so easy. Of course, it depends on who you are talking to. But I usually avoid words in Sanskrit, for example, because they look at you like you are haughty. I prefer to make them feel that they have met a person who is in a way different from the others. And I start to talk about maybe the projects we have, the activities we do, because it is not so easy. I think that our behavior is the best way to talk about theosophy. Otherwise, people, they build a wall and they don't want. But it happened to me sometimes to take advantage of they're saying, for example, the word karma. I said, but do you really know what karma means? Or other words, samadhi, for example, nirvana, for example. Sometimes people say this, pronounce this word without knowing what they are meant, what they mean. And so I started from that and started talking about theosophy without saying, for the moment, the word theosophy, saying the ancient wisdom or Indian traditions, things that can be more neutral than the word theosophy. And it works. It can work.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with me today. And I wonder if there's any advice or anything that maybe we didn't talk about that you think would be important to mention.
Oh, well, I think that we have to keep in mind that altruism is the core of theosophy, and that theosophy is the practical application, daily application of this universe of brotherhood. And it is not only a theory, and that altruism can conquer our selfishness and move ourselves and all humanity toward unity. That is our hope and first goal.
That is beautiful, and that is altruism can conquer selfishness. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, again, thank you so much for this interview.